Thanks so much. First of all, I want to thank Renee and his staff for bringing me up here to Troy, New York, and to be with some great friends and faces, some people I haven't seen in a long time. I'd like to congratulate all the inductee winners and their families for the inaugural New York State Hockey Hall of Fame. And I'm excited because, you know, it's about the history, and it's about the history of our game and what it does mean to us. And I love hearing the stories. We all have a story. We all have a path and we all have a journey. And I'm a big believer, and my good friend Jimmy Johnson's here, and I have a saying, I say there are no coincidences. That everything you go through in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, prepares you for what's to come next, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you realize it at the moment. And it's all part of the story, because as one Brad had said, sometimes failure applied is moving towards success. And all your experience shape you, and the game shapes you. And I'll share a little bit about that real quick, because I really shouldn't be standing here. I have a North American connection. My dad was born in Windsor, Tecumseh, Windsor in Canada. My grandmother's from Rosemont, Montreal. My mom was born in Michigan, Farmington, Michigan. So I have no borders, although I did play for the U.S. But I was very lucky because my dad then took us to St. Louis, and just like I believe Dave said, he put me on double rudders and just took a windmill and threw me around the ice, and I felt the wind in my hair, and I said, I've got to figure out how to do this. This is a cool feeling. I was in an outdoor rink when I was 5 years old in Kirkwood, Missouri, and it inspired me. I just loved it. So I played shinny and kept playing, and then adversity hits. I'm 12 years old, I'm running track, and I fall over and can't catch my breath, and they have to send me to the doctors in an ambulance because I kept wheezing and had an asthmatic attack. And I'll never forget the doctor's name, and I won't mention it, but he said, "Kid, you better hit the books because you're never going to play sports." I sat in front of the fan for a summer wheezing, couldn't catch my breath, and watching all the kids all summer playing kickball and baseball. And fortunately, a lady in the neighborhood said to my mom, "Have you ever had your son tested for allergies?" And she said no. So I got tested, found out I was allergic to everything: grass, ragweed, molds, food, everything. So I got 3 shots a week till I was 30, and I was lucky because my asthma went away. It came back later in life. I thought it went away for good. But that was my first taste of adversity, and the game I loved was taken away. So you can imagine a 12-year-old loving this sport and then never thinking he's ever going to play it again. Boy, when I got a second chance, I was all in. And I have to fast forward from 12 to 15. The guys in this room. It was the night of my 15th birthday, February 22nd, 1980. And we ordered Little Caesar's Pizza. And guys like Mark, Jack, and I know Jeannie's here representing the great late Mark Pavlich, and Kenny Morrow, a soon-to-be teammate. And I remember jumping up and down, my brother and I and our family, when Mike scored the goal, and all of a sudden, you guys gave hope to a bunch of boys and girls across America, and the world, really. You guys opened the door. So hockey's a game of privilege to be able to play it. I'm privileged to play. So I want to thank those guys because at that moment, they let a young 15-year-old kid dream bigger. And then about 4 or 5 months later, my dad were doing spring cleaning in Michigan, and he says, "Come on inside. The Islanders are in overtime." And sure enough, my brother and I rode in and watching the game, and Lauren Henning passes it to Johnny Tonelli. Johnny Tonelli passes it to Bobby Nystrom. The rest is history. Bobby scores. We're jumping up and down in Michigan again. And then I said, "Where the heck is Long Island?" I grabbed the map and I said, "Oh, there it is." Now, if you told me 3.5 years later, I would have had the privilege to represent my country and play for a great coach, Lou Varro, Where's Louie? Where's Louie? Louie, I love you. I had a great coach. Learned so much from him, and we spent all our time, and you couldn't put a price tag on playing for your country and having a coach like you. So thank you, Louie. So right after we had this amazing Olympic experience playing for your country, I just turned 19. A week later, I'm in Winnipeg. I know there's some Winnipeg butchers here. And I joined the New York Islanders. And I checked on my right, my line mate's Bobby Nystrom. On my left is Joe Canada. So there are no coincidences. So for those guys, Butchie, Bobby, I know Kenny's not here, and Clarkie, I have to tell you, you see a lot of the guys, and Kenny Morrow too, but you see Bossy Trottier, and you see a lot of the, Billy Smith and Dennis Montman, amazing, talented players. The heart and soul of that team is here in this room tonight. It was Clarkie, it was Bobby, it was Butchie, it was a Kenny Morrow, and I have to tell you, I am a much better person and a better hockey player, not only for what they taught me on the ice and how they were true champions, but even more so off the ice. They're like big brothers to me, and they taught me what it meant to be a National Hockey League player and how to give back. And we've lost a few of them, and I know Pam's here with Jocelyn and her family, and we're still dealing with losing a great man. There's a big hole. Because those guys that are here in Clarkie, they were really the heart of Long Island. It was a team, but they were the heart of Long Island. So Butchie, obviously Clarkie, Pam's here. Bobby, I know Kenny Morrow couldn't be here, but I'll give you guys a big round of applause. Thanks for everything you've done. And then I shuffled off to Buffalo. And I have the great privilege of playing with some amazing hockey players. You saw Danny Gare. I was lucky to have my number retired next to his. And I have to talk about this young gentleman here because I got to play with Clint. Clint Malarchuk, one of the most amazing men I've ever met in my life. And talk about there are no coincidences, because Clint has taken hockey and every experience he's ever had and then put it into something to really impact other lives. He's gone through a lot. Talk about a battler. His wife Joni. What an inspiration you guys have been. And Clint, it was an honor to play with you. Thanks for all you've done, Clint. And then I kind of rounded out my career. And so the irony is, I think I am the only player to have played in one state, been traded twice, never changed his license plate. I don't think that's the nice tagline. And I have to tell you, there are no coincidences, because I married my wife from Long Island, Huntington. She was born in Huntington Hospital. My daughter Sarah was born in Huntington Hospital. My other daughter, my son, was born in Buffalo, and I came full circle when I became a New York Ranger, and I was privileged of wearing number 16 like Mark Pavlich, the great Mark Pavlich. And really, all those organizations taught me so much, and all the players, teammates, coaches, trainers, fans, all of those experiences really are what shapes you and shapes all of us here. And the biggest gratitude and the greatest gratitude is to the sport. I thank my parents, because values really start in the home. Sports and school are vehicles to reinforce those values. And hockey, what a great teacher. The beauty of hockey is we're all in the same family. It doesn't matter what level we play. It doesn't matter. We're all part of a bigger family. The sport is at the core. Everything I do today has to do with the sport and what it taught me, and the people I met and the people I learned from. The hard work, the discipline, the leadership, the teamwork, the sacrifice. I've stopped playing probably a little while now, but it lives inside me long after I stopped playing. The sport and everything it teaches you. listen, if you can win a championship, it's a bonus. But the true value of the game is the life skills and the values and the character development and the people you meet along the way, the relationships. It's a connection and it's a family. And we're all lucky to be part of this great sport of hockey. And we talked earlier about coaches and mentors. There's some coaches that I mentioned, Lou, and Great Al Arbor. I was lucky, Teddy Nolan, some great coaches. John Muckler. I have to mention Lou Lamarillo, also another Lou, because I was fortunate enough after Jack and Mark and both Marks and Kenny and all the guys paved the road for this generation. We hoped we gave something back in 1996 when we won the World Cup, and hopefully inspired a whole group of boys and girls going forward. And I think Emily hit it best about what we were talking about on the importance of inclusivity and the importance of all forms and all surfaces. It's not just ice hockey, it's roller hockey, it's ball hockey, it's street hockey, it's sled hockey, it's women's hockey, it's all hockey. We're all part of a big family. And all the levels to me are the same. Doesn't matter if you play at elite level, doesn't matter if you're a beginner. All the guys that are coaching and passing it on to the next generation, that's what it's all about. If we're true leaders and servants to our sport, we'll leave it better than we found it. And that's what the people in this room are going to do. And I will share something about the Easter epic because you asked me to. It was late at night and it was almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Now listen, if I go past a little, I think you walk up when it's close to 10. Park, you were here, you would never touch the mic. Bobby Nystrom, Butchie, you will never touch the mic. I'll try to be quick. So it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. We were down 3-1. We forced a game 7, and we went into overtime, and then again, Trotz had scored with 5 minutes to go in the third period. First overtime, second overtime, third overtime, fourth overtime. And we're sitting there, and I'll never forget this moment. I'm at the bench, and Jimmy Pickard grabs a water bottle, and he takes the water, and he says, "Pop." Call me Pop. He said, "Pop, got a feeling you're going to get one." And I felt the water, and then they started playing music from the Twilight Zone. So you hear, na, 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 na. And all of a sudden, everything stopped. And it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. There are people sleeping in the stands right next to me. I see 75 shots to 57 shots. I said, this really kind of surreal, wasn't it? And just at that moment, I'm keeping an eye on Bobby Bassin because that's my guy, I'm gonna go on. So he starts to come over, I jump on the ice, Gord Deneen pinches. I said, I better cover for Gord. It's only 2 o'clock in the morning, we're a little tired here. And Gord comes around the net, tries to put it in front, goes off Ron Langway's stick. It comes to me at the point, and I turn and spin. Now, I have to tell you, I've never shot a puck like that ever in my life, and still this day, I still haven't shot a puck and spin around like that. And I just shot it because Kelly Rudy and Bob Mason, and Bob and I were teammates, he still hates me for it. They must have saw the pucks like beach balls. I was praying that somebody screened them, and sure enough, Dale Henry screened him. And I just turned around, I shot, the puck was on edge, and just hit the net. I heard the post. And then I saw Bob drop to his knees, and then we just went crazy. And to this day, it was one of those moments that you just cherish because it was an Easter Sunday, and we found a way. But guys like Bobby started the overtime goals, and Butchie and Clarkie, all those guys were the inspiration. But we were just happy to carry on that tradition. And the last thing I'm going to say to you is that there are no coincidences because during hockey was a stepping stone to do what I did today. The most important thing to me is what hockey teaches you and then what you choose to do. And there were some amazing kids that inspired me in children's hospitals, and they taught me what real courage was all about. And so one in particular, and so I decided I'm going to dedicate my life to these kids and help build interactive game rooms in children's hospitals, because when we were going to the children's hospitals, there's no place for a child to escape to. There's no place for them to feel like a kid. So we started building these interactive, really cool children's called Lions Den rooms, where the walls curve in and the tiles change colors, and there's Xbox 360s, and there's video conferencing pods, and there's computers, and there's chances for kids to just go be kids and play games. Then Microsoft built these kiosks that we put in another 80 children's hospitals where kids that were in isolation could play each other in a private network and laugh and smile and just be kids. And then it affects the whole family. So when the parents are watching their kids smile that are going through this, it helps the whole family. And the kids are usually the ones that are the most courageous. That's why we call the companions in courage, because they're the ones with the courage. And most of the time, they're the ones that were strong and inspired everybody around them. And so Clarky and I, my great teammate, we both have daughters named Brianna, and there was a Brianna Titcomb who passed away. And we decided, let's get together and we'll build a cub room at Huntington Hospital. And we'll call it the Brianna Titcomb Cub Room. And when I look back at hockey, as great as the teams and these teams that won, what's even better is trying to leave something in the local communities, having an impact for generations to come, like Clarky did, and Bobby, and Butchie, and all the players in Buffalo, Clint, what he's doing, all the guys here. It's really to kind of give back. And so I have a mantra, and Jimmy Johnson's here. He's been the executive director of Companions in Courage Foundation for 20 years. So Jimmy, I have to recognize him because he's my right-hand guy. My mantra is in life, score your goals when you're young, because when you get older, life is all about the assists, and the assists are more important. So, thank you so much for your